Social networks, Xbox Live, and texting are destroying the social skills and the ability to develop healthy personal relationships of kids born since the dawn of cell phones and the internet. We are evolving into a society driven by faceless communication where we can assume false personas and be whoever we want to be. Statements can be made with no accountability attached. Kids play video games with other kids in cyberspace, never meeting the kid down the street or developing a real friendship. Or maybe they aren't playing with other kids at all. Maybe the video gamer on the other side is a child predator. We don't really know who we talk to or play with anymore because we communicate with screens instead of each other. Social networks has opened a whole can of worms that our parents could have never anticipated when we were innocent little bundles of joy. We have thousands of friends on Facebook. Of course, we've never met most of them, but we still feel compelled to post a status revealing our plans for the day or our innermost thoughts. It's actually where most of us build our friendships now. Kids can talk on Facebook for months, considering each other the best of friends, yet never having a face-to-face conversation. Of course, this deprives us of the art of learning to read body language and facial expressions. We don't learn to make eye contact either. But the most dangerous aspect of Facebook is how it allows us to say whatever we want about another person to our thousands of friends on Facebook all at the same time. If someone irritates us, we can attempt to ruin their reputation by simply writing a paragraph and hitting enter. It is a powerful thing, but this works against us too. We must be careful what we say to everyone all the time, because an innocent comment can be repeated with a twist or used out of context. Our circle of trusted friends is very small. It is funny how with 1,000 friends on Facebook, we can feel so lonely. Then there's texting. Our cell phones are our lifelines to everything. God forbid we lose them, drop them in the toilet, or leave them on the hood of the car and drive away. Theoretically, we cannot have them in school, but teachers gave up on that a long time ago. If we are discreet, we can sit in class and text our friends all day long. We are always connected. So this means we never have to learn how to make plans. We can make ourselves available at a moment's notice. That way, if something better comes along, we aren't committed until we have to be. We can keep each other hanging that way. Also, when we are really angry at someone or just over them, and don't want to have to look them in the eye to see how bad our words really hurt them, we can send them a text. We can send a text that goes on for pages and really stick it to them, and we never have to really see how badly we make them feel. We don't have to learn compassion for other people's feelings, because we can hurt them without seeing them. We can just go through life and not concern ourselves with how our actions affect other people. But none of this is really working for us, because we don't really know how to talk to each other and seldom see each other when we communicate. Friendships are hard to develop and maintain. But this is just part of the problem. As if teenage romantic relations haven't always been complicated, the fact that we function with the social skills of cavemen make these interactions completely dysfunctional. We can date each other and seldom hear each other's voices. An entire relationship can evolve electronically. We can suddenly find ourselves kissing them, not knowing the sound of their voice. Of course, the cell phone makes a breakup painless and impersonal, at least for one of us. A 3-word text, "I'm dumping you," can break a heart with the least bit of guilt or embarrassment. When they have to change their Facebook status to single, their thousands of friends know they got dumped too. We can't blame Facebook and texting for a lack of social skills completely. This cycle started a long time ago when we played our very first video game. With controller in hand, we stared at the screen and killed our closest friends without ever looking at them or talking to them. Sure, we sat next to them, but we never had to say a word. There was no compromise, no listening, no sharing of ideas. Now our motor skills are amazing. We can maneuver knobs and push buttons in our sleep. But we never learned to share things with our friends. Not our stuff, not our ideas, and not our souls. We never bonded over searching for scraps to build forts or going around the neighborhood recruiting kids to play baseball. We never learned to be together. Xbox Live just magnified the isolation. It allows us to play video games without even being in the same room as our opponent. We don't even have to know them. They could be on the other side of the world. They could be murderers or drug dealers. How would we ever know? Akio Mori, a professor at Tokyo University, recently conducted a survey of the effects of video games on brain activity. beta wave activity in people's brains who are avid video game players constantly comes up as 0, even when they aren't even playing, suggesting that they seldom use their prefrontal regions of their brain. The gamers told researchers that they are constantly angry, can't concentrate, and have trouble associating with friends. Research in brain activity suggests that when the prefrontal regions are underdeveloped, they develop mood swings along with reclusive and aggressive behavior. These findings led Maury to ask, if the brain is so impacted by video games as to create behavioral changes, must that mean the brain perceives the games as real? That is a truly frightening question. The internet generation must walk away from their screens, put down their phones, and talk to each other. We need to get to know each other. We need to look at each other when we are talking and hear each other's voices. We need to see the look on our friends' faces when they hear what we are saying. We need to learn to be social. If we don't, how are we ever going to parent the next generation? Okay, does anyone have any questions?
Sarah, I've got a question.
Okay.
How have video games affected you?
Well, luckily, when I was a kid, we were still playing outside all the time, riding bikes, playing hide and seek, but a lot of my friends now say that their brothers and sisters sit inside playing video games all the time. And video games are really fun, but only in small doses. Kids need to get outside, they need to breathe fresh air and talk to each other in person and, get exercise. So it's all in the amount, so that's what's important. Any other questions?
I have a question. Do you think there are any advantages to Facebook?
Yeah, I do think there are advantages to Facebook. I moved away from my hometown when I was 9 years old, and I recently got in contact with a lot of my friends from elementary school, and I don't think I would have ever done that if it hadn't been for Facebook. And I really enjoyed getting to see how they've grown up and where they ended up going to school, so that was something that is a good aspect of Facebook. So, and also, I have a lot of family friends that moved overseas, and long-distance phone calls are really expensive. So, in that aspect, Facebook is a great thing because it's free and it's a very easy way to contact people that far away. Any other questions?
Yes, I do. Are you happy with all the technology that your generation has, or would you have preferred to have grown up in, say, your parents' generation or your grandparents, where you didn't even have a telephone and you had to walk 5 miles to go and see your friend?
That's a great question. I feel like it can go either way. When we have so many hurricanes here in Houston, we sometimes get a little glimpse of what it would be like to not have electricity, and everyone comes out of their homes and actually talks to each other, and we barbecue together because we have nothing else to do. And in that way, I love that. I love the community, and that's great. But in other ways, I'm so attached to my phone. I love being, I can call this person or call that person, and especially in an emergency, a cell phone can save lives, so it has its advantages and disadvantages, definitely. But all right, any more questions? Nope. Thank you.